Jet lag is the worst. We all know that feeling after a long haul of landing and feeling like an absolute zombie for 2 days. I used to feel like the first couple days I was operating at 45% capacity and losing valuable time on my trip. I was done with that. So instead of accepting jet lag as a part of travel, I decided to fix it once and for all. I read the research, I tested all the protocols, and I found an engineering solution that eliminated jet lag for me. Hey, I'm Jake Kaiser, and I've been obsessed with health optimization and biohacking for as long as I can remember. I'm an engineer by trade, so I like systems that work, but really I'm just overly ambitious and try to fit way too much into my travel plans, hence why I needed to find a solution to jet lag. I hate operating at anything less than 100% and like to squeeze as much as I can out of trips. I write about these subjects of health optimization and things on my blog, Jake's Journey, and I'm now starting to share some of those main lessons and experiments with you all here on YouTube. I travel a lot. I travel to Asia multiple times a year, Europe multiple times a year, most recently New Zealand, and this is the protocol I've developed to kill jet lag. It's a little bit intense and extremely specific, but it has been honed over years of experimentation, and it's what I use to be able to hit the ground running. Phase 1 is the pre-flight setup. Battling jet lag starts long before the trip. You can think of your body's stress stores as a bucket, and you want that bucket nice and empty such that it can handle all that added stress of travel. Step 1 is tapering, and this is kind of bringing down your overall stress and load before the trip. The few days before a big international trip is probably not the best time for a new squat PR, and this is, as someone who learned this lesson, the absolute hardest way possible. I like to plan my training around tapering in volume and intensity that week before travel, or even better, planning it out ahead of time as a deload week, such that my body has the capacity to focus on the adaptation to a new time zone. This also applies for other stressors, so if you can kind of taper down the intensity of work or anything else, it's gonna help on that trip. Step 2 is sleep banking. For a long time, people said that you cannot bank your sleep. However, the most recent research on this topic shows that getting more sleep ahead of periods of poor sleep or high stress actually does build resilience and allows your body to handle that lack of sleep much better. Just ask Luna here. She sleeps all day and is ready for anything. Practically, I try and get 30 or 60 minutes of extra sleep those few days before travel to just build up a little bit of a buffer and handle that poor sleep I know I'm gonna get while traveling as best as I can. The final thing I'll do before traveling is get my immune system ready for the plane and for the airport. And I'll do that by the sleep we discussed, eating well and adding a little bit of vitamin C and a little extra zinc those few days before travel. All right, phase 2, the in-flight system. You are on the plane now, and this is when the mental games start. As soon as I'm entering the airport, I'm changing my clocks to my destination time zone. And if it says I should be asleep and it's nighttime, I'm gonna be relaxing, sleeping, or just kind of getting in a rested state. And if it says it's daytime, I am gonna be awake. We also mentioned that planes and airports are flying petri dishes. Obviously, you can wear a mask, that can definitely help. But the other things I use to try to boost my immunity while traveling, I like to have about 500 to 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every 4 to 6 hours while traveling. I aim for usually 50 to 75 milligrams of zinc, mostly through lozenges, because it can actually kill viruses as they're in your throat and kind of air passages. And I also use a nasal spray. This Profi claims to be able to kind of prevent airborne germs from entering your nose, kind of provides a protective layer. I don't know if it works, but this or any nasal spray helps keep those nasal passages working properly and fighting off any pathogens. Nutrition is also huge here. Airplane food is generally garbage. And when I do eat it, I'm gonna be avoiding all of the simple carbohydrates and only having kind of the proteins and fats on the dish. However, I prefer to try to eat before I get on the plane, and lately have found myself never even touching any airplane food. But I also do like to have a few snacks with me, like protein bars, beef jerky, some nuts, such that I don't have to down my third white bread roll of the day. The final thing to say here is that meal timing is so important. If they're trying to feed you on the plane at some random time, do not eat. Wait to only eat meals whenever it is based on your destination, time zone, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because that is a powerful signal to your body to, again, start adjusting the internal clock. In addition to food, I am hydrating like I am running a marathon across the Sahara. I'm drinking constantly, and also will add electrolytes into my water every kind of 4 to 6 hours to just make sure that I am properly hydrated. I also like to be moving as much as I possibly can while on the plane. If I'm up, I'm trying to get up at least once every 30 minutes or so, and the copious amounts of water I'm drinking definitely help with that. And you know, every time I'm in the bathroom, I'm doing 10 air squats over that toilet seat to kind of keep the lower body getting some blood flow to it, and also doing a few little stretches in my seat or the aisleway when I can sneak them in. This can make a massive difference on how stiff you are when you land, how you're feeling, and can kind of cascade into those next few days. Well, it's time for everyone's favorite part of any video, the supplement stack that I'm using to really help me sleep. I was never able to sleep on a plane. However, with a little bit of pharmacological help, have found myself being able to doze off for an hour here or there. So in terms of supplements, we already talked about the immune ones. I'm also taking a good quality multivitamin while I'm flying, because again, my diet's pretty bad on those days. I will be taking vitamin D as well, which helps boost the immune system. And when it comes to sleep, my honed stack is about 300 elemental milligrams of magnesium glycinate. In addition to that, I will add a little bit of glycine to get to around 3 total grams of glycine, which helps your body relax, get a little bit more parasympathetic, and helps with sleep. And then to kind of battle the cortisol and the stress of travel, I will be taking ashwagandha or PS100. Both of these kind of help shut down the adrenals in a way and can help you feel a little bit more calm and get to rest on a plane. And then I will be taking melatonin only if it is at the destination's bedtime. I definitely don't want to be taking melatonin to sleep if it's not aligned with the time I want to be going to sleep at my destination. And the only thing I don't have right now is I did cave and get a prescription of trazodone, and I will take 25 or 50 milligrams, a really low dose of that, when I'm in the plane to just try to help facilitate getting as much sleep as possible. As always, with any supplement or prescription drug, please talk to your doctor, make sure it works for you. All right, phase 3, the landing. You have arrived at your destination, and the golden rule here is you just gotta live off that local time zone immediately. Sure, we had our watches set on the plane to this time zone, but that's different than being at a destination. And this is when it's even more critical to adjust to that time zone 100%. It might be 7 a.m., it might be 3 a.m., you might be feeling tired, but too bad, it's time to buckle up. This is where light is your best friend. Not only is it gonna help you feel better this first day that you arrived, but is going to set you up such that that jet lag does not catch up with you in the following days. The kind of general rule is if you're traveling to the east, you want more bright light in the morning to advance your clock. And if you're traveling west, you wanna make sure you get that afternoon light. But I have found that just getting outside as much as possible is the simplest way to do this and helps immensely. That bright light in the morning is sending powerful signals to your body to start adjusting its internal clock. And similarly, if you're outside kind of later in the day during that sunset times, the same thing is happening. And this is the thing that is going to get your body adjusted internally to that local time as quickly as possible. The other 2 tools that I'll use here is caffeine. As long as it's not anywhere near my bedtime, I like to end my caffeine by like 12:30, that local time, just to avoid any stimulants affecting my sleep. And also even exogenous ketones can be a great way to get a little bit more energy without having that kind of stimulant effect and impacting your sleep. The next most powerful thing that you can do is exercise. Exercise is telling your body you are active. It is, again, helping adjust that internal clock more quickly than if you did not do it. I try to stay to kind of more zone 2 work those first 2 days, just because I know my body just went through a lot of stress, probably is seeing a lot of new pathogens, and also has kind of a lack of sleep from the plane itself. So I try to take it easy those first few days, not try to ramp up intensity too much unless I'm feeling like $1,000,000. I definitely prefer doing this outside as it kills two birds with one stone. You're getting that exercise, you're getting light in your eyes, you're getting some fresh, brisk air, hopefully, and that helps immensely. If you're not a runner, that's fine. Just a brisk walk outside or doing whatever workout you might want in a hotel gym and getting some light after work equally well. It's time for that dreaded first night of sleep. And this is where sleep hygiene is so important. I always travel with an eye mask and earplugs to ensure that my environment is as dark and quiet as possible. I'm going to bed at my local time zone, and I will be using that kind of same supplement stack that I was using on the plane: magnesium glycinate, glycine, maybe some ashwagandha, and maybe even 25 milligrams of trazodone those first 2 nights to ensure I'm getting the best sleep possible. And this is also when I will be using melatonin, usually the first 3 nights, synced up with that new local time zone to give my body another reminder that it is time to sleep and rest. With all of these things combined, I'm usually getting close to my normal sleep score that first night, and by night 2 and 3, I'm back to kind of a normal sleeping pattern. All right, it's time for the return trip. The good news is there's nothing special here. Rinse and repeat this entire process, and you're gonna be landing at home feeling as good as you possibly can. This might sound a little intense, but in reality, it's pretty simple, especially if you've done it a few times. And the benefits are so immense that it is well worth the time and effort. Whether I'm traveling to Europe for work meetings or to go on some adventure or climb a peak in some beautiful place, I don't have time for jet lag. Using this protocol and beating jet lag is really buying back your time, which means more amazing experiences wherever you might be traveling. So give this a shot on your next trip. Let me know how it goes. And if you want to see more biohacking and health optimization stuff, hit that red button down below, and I will catch you on the next one.